Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Butterfly Soldiers. I'm your host Rufaro, and today we've got another topic that has really had me thinking for a little bit now. And this is that I am so tired. Now, have you ever gone to the place where you're so tired all the time? And it doesn't matter how much you sleep. It doesn't matter how much self-care you go through. It doesn't matter how many massages, manis, pedis, whatever it is that you do when you think I need to rejuvenate my body because I'm physically tired. And you are still tired. Yep, I have been there. And this is what I've discovered in my trial and error. You are not tired physically. You're soul weary. And there is a huge difference. Okay, we're going to get into that. So when you're physically tired, good solid night's sleep, good nutrition, things to do with the physical body will fix that. When you're physically tired and you have a good night's sleep, you're going to wake up the next morning and you are like booming, busting, ready to go. When you have done that over and over and over again and it's still not working, it means that those fixes are not what you need. What you actually are is soul weary. And I want to talk about the soul weary part today. I want to talk about what can cause it and what are the ways to try and get yourself out of this rut of exhaustion, because we've all said it and we all call it different things. It's adulting. I'm sick and tired of adulting, of which, by the way, I low-key am. But that's not what it is. It means that your soul is weary, and there's a different fix for that. That is not what we do when we're physically exhausted. So give me a minute of your time and sit down, relax, grab a little something, and we're going to get right into it. Okay, so I'm going to break down a little bit about why we are soul weary. And this is the main reason that I have found. We are weary, so weary, because we are pouring our energy into the wrong thing. Wait. Let me explain. We are not here for no particular purpose other than to just exist. You grow up, you go to school, you get together with somebody, get married, you have children, you pay your bills, and then you die. We are not built and we're not here on planet Earth for this very reason. When you look at everything about us, and my disclaimer, as I usually do, you are speaking to your girl who comes from a very much a Christian point of view. Everything I talk about, everything that I am, everything that how I live my life pretty much is coming from that angle. So I really don't believe that we were just a mistake that came here. We're just going to do the best that we can, if at all, because after this, that's it, we're done. I really do think that we are here for something specific. And this is the reason why I have come to the conclusion that you can get so weary because you are pouring yourself into the wrong thing. Like I said, I will explain. So everything that you can see has a purpose, right? Let's take a look at simple things like a microwave. We know what a microwave is here for. Your microwave is not going to do your laundry. That is the washing machine or by hand. Let's take a look at the stove. You don't sleep on a stove. The stove is there to cook. If we take a look at our own bodies, you've got your red blood cells have a specific purpose. Your white blood cells have a specific purpose. Your brain is there for a reason. Your pinky toes are there for a reason. Everything has a purpose. So do you, right? So the way to tell that you are pouring yourself into the wrong thing is the first thing that you need to do is locate your purpose. I will talk about purpose all day, every day. A lot of what I do is around about that. I even have my largest tattoo, actually, that's here, says purpose. I'm in that zone. You need to be able to find your purpose so that you know whether or not you're wasting energy pouring it into something that isn't actually built for you or isn't what you're meant to be pouring it into. Now, how to discover your purpose or how to find what that area of your life is a whole series, not even just one episode, it's a whole series. And I do have a lot of resources that I would like to share, books that you can read, things to listen to, because I've been on this journey for a long time, which I will. And coming up very soon is a whole series based on just purpose. In the meantime, I'm just going to give you 2 little tidbits that I really don't have a lot of time to dig into, but like I'm saying, we will. Okay, so the first part is passion. What are you passionate about? And by that, I mean like, what are the things that set you on fire? For example, my sister can walk into a very vanilla blank space and she'll immediately start seeing, oh, I would do this about that. Oh, that's the color that would look great on the walls. Oh, I'd put accent pieces like that. And or she'll take a look at me and she'll be like, nah, I'll change that about your outfit. And it sets her soul on fire. She gets so happy. That's like her happy place, you know? So your passions are the things where if you're talking amongst friends, you'll be like, this doesn't drive you crazy, or, you know, you don't see that. And it's like, no. That's usually a very good indication of where your purpose is, because I really feel like God does give us breadcrumbs. He does give us clues. And the things that usually we're passionate about is a good sign of where your purpose is. Now, mind you, I don't mean passionate about things that are either going to destroy yourself or destroy other people. Those are bad appetites. So that's another story for another day. But the things that you're passionate about bring life both to you and to other people. So that's the first thing that can give you a good direction on what your purpose is. And the other thing is peace. Peace is a very simple word, but I think a lot of the times in my own life, I misunderstood what it meant. I thought peace meant ease. It doesn't. When I say peace, I mean that when you think about this thing, it hits right here and it feels right. It feels like it's almost like a calm. It's almost like a confirmation. It's almost like an affirmation or reaffirmation. That's the peace that I'm talking about. And the reason why I say that it's not easy is that a lot of the times your purpose, if you've lived your life not following it or not being intentional about it, the time when it comes for you to now try to find it, it might look so different from where you're at that you might think that this isn't it, because it doesn't make mental sense and it doesn't make like a lot of financial sense and things like that as well. But there is a thing when it's quiet or when you can still the noise, there is that sense of peace. There is that thing that says, but this is right. This is the way that it's supposed to be. This is what I would be doing. If I had nothing else I'd want to do for the rest of my life, if I had the option, because of I'm not restricted by money, by location, by whatever it is, this is what I want to do. And it feels like a click. Like it's like, yes, that's the peace that I'm talking about. So those are just 2 little tidbits about how to find your purpose if you haven't really taken the time to do it, or you just don't know, or you want to confirm if where you're at is right. Those are some of the things that I think would be great. Okay, so basically, if you haven't discovered what it is, what your main source and main reason for being on planet Earth is, all the energy that you're pouring, all the thought energy, your physical energy, emotional energy, all of that energy, are basically pouring it into a leaky cup, because you're pouring that into something that has got nothing to give you back. Now, the thing about living in your purpose is usually very difficult. It's not something that like da-di-da-di-da. Yes, da-di-da-di-da feels great, but the doing of purpose usually requires some sort of sacrifice, usually requires some sort of growth. In fact, a lot of growth. And that stuff isn't really comfortable. That's not something that, you're just dying to do in terms of the work to get to the end goal of the feeling that you like. The thing about when you're pouring yourself into your purpose, it doesn't matter how difficult it is. It doesn't matter how to some of the people, they're wondering, how on earth are you doing what you're doing? Because this very thing pours back into you. There is something about living in that spot of, I'm doing what I was meant to do. I'm doing what I'm flourishing, like a fish in water. It almost feels like it's giving you back. If a bird tries to get into the water, it's going to die. But a fish in that very same water, that's where the oxygen is. That's where these nutrients are. That's where everything else comes in. And that's what happens, I think, when you engage with your purpose, when you engage with what you're supposed to be doing, it actually naturally pours back into you. Now, if you're pouring all these things out into something that isn't your purpose, isn't what you should be pouring yourself into, it's a leaky cup. Nothing's coming back. Hence the soul weariness, because you're pouring and pouring and pouring and no replenishment, and pouring and pouring and pouring and no replenishment. And it's a vicious cycle. I want to talk about a few other things as well that could be causing soul weariness. Pouring yourself, and we're going to break it down from just this big world code purpose. I'll break it down into certain things. If you're pouring yourself into a field of work, for example, that you really low-key hate, and you're only doing this because we all know adulting, I need a paycheck, I need a roof over my head, and I do like to have like food in the fridge when I need it. So you're pouring yourself into something that you don't want to do, that is going to drain you. You're in a relationship that really, there is no reason why you guys are together. This is another topic for another day. I think there should be a reason why people are together. And I don't mean because we happen to make a baby and that's the only reason that you guys are together. I don't have time to get into that, but why are the two of you together? What is the purpose of your relationship other than maybe the effect of the words of I love you? And like I said, that's another topic for another day, which is coming up, by the way. If there is no reason, there is nothing that's actually a reason for the two of you being together. You're pouring yourself, you're pouring your heart, you're pouring your love into this thing. It is going to drain you. That's another thing that's going to give you soul weariness. So I've said all this to say that there is a difference between I'm tired or I'm soul weary. And the first step is to discover, are you in the place that says I'm just physically tired, and if I had a good night's sleep and I didn't eat junk for a little while, I'm going to feel better, and that fixes it, it's great. If it doesn't fix it, you got to go to the next step, which is discovering what is draining my soul energy, what is draining me on the internal, that I got to plug this hole so I can stop pouring myself into leaky things that isn't there. Now, if you're on the journey to want to start to find your purpose, you want to start to do this, you want to identify which parts of your life are being sucked out of you without replenishment, one of the first things that I would say you need to do is to take yourself away. Now, it's not always possible. Sometimes you can't actually physically leave where you are. And if you are able to do it, it's one of the really great places or ways to be able to quieten the noise, because in discovering what is taking my energy and how do I fix it, you have to shut down all the other voices, all the other things that are clamoring for attention. Work is clamoring, kids are clamoring, relationships are clamoring. Everything is always, and everything has got its opinion, and everything has got its draw power from you. You need to kind of put all that volume down to let yourself, to hear the parts of you. Because you know what, when we listen, we actually do know the parts of us that are telling us that this hurts, but we don't give ourselves enough of an opportunity or place to listen and to hear that for ourselves. So if you are able to physically get away to a place where you can actually shut off all the noise, no cell phone, no social media, no TV, just yourself, your journals, and for myself, it will be my Bible, my journals, my worship music, and I can actually begin to listen and to pinpoint, because the Holy Spirit is fantastic at letting you know, if you ask him and give him a chance to reply, to tell you what's missing. If you're not able to get away completely, I would say you need to start to adjust your routine to give yourself that time when it's quiet. Usually early morning is really great if you're a morning person, before the rest of the house gets up or before your day kicks in. Those are the moments where you can actually start to schedule time on purpose with yourself to quiet everything down and to start to figure out the truth about what's happening. This process isn't easy, and it's not doable if you're not going to be honest with yourself. Sometimes, I'll take the example of a relationship. You've invested so much in this thing. You want it to work so much, whether it's for optics, whether it's for the time that you've put in, whether it's for people who've told you that this isn't a good idea and your pride is in the way. If you are not honest with how you really, really feel about this situation, you are not ready to get out of the soul weariness, and you're not going to be able to get out of the soul weariness, because if you cannot come out of something that you can't even admit is wrong. So in that place of making that time, of either getting away or creating that time within your schedule, You need to be able to be ready to be honest. Now, how do you know you're ready? When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, you're ready. My mother used to say that if you're trying to do something, or you can see somebody's in a situation they're not supposed to be, and then they don't seem to be getting out of it. There are many reasons, mind you. One of them could be she's not yet ready, or he's not yet ready because it doesn't yet hurt enough. When something hurts you enough that you cannot do it anymore, you are going to start to do the steps to get out of that thing. And so when you're at that point where you're ready to be honest, it's going to make the discovery of what it is exactly that's putting you in that place, and you can start to come out of it. So take the time out. I recently did a pilgrimage, if you will, it's more than a month now, maybe about a month and a half or so ago. And I drove to another place for a weekend, and I closed myself off in a cabin. Yes, single Black woman traveling alone. I've actually got an episode radio on that, on how I did it, where I went, and what I discovered about it. And I gotta tell you that there is something about separating yourself from your regular life, if you are able to do it, that gives you such a clarity and gives you it gives yourself a chance to listen to yourself and give yourself a chance, and that gift of, I need to figure out what's wrong. And I came out of there with clarity and more purpose than I have. So I will do a whole thing about that a little bit later. So at the end of the day, soul weariness and spirit weariness is not cured by the physical things that we know what to do when we think we're tired. It requires introspection, time, and honesty. And honestly, some of the things that you're going to get out of this, out of a process like that, which, in fact, let me give you like a quick shot of what this process looks like, right? The first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to breathe. By that, it means just like breathe yourself into the situation. Acknowledge the fact that you're here and you need to do something about it. Just breathe. Everything is going to be okay. So step 1 is to breathe. Step 2 is to erase. You got here for a reason, and when you got here, you're not happy about it. So there are some things in your life that you're going to have to erase. When you're honest about it, that's that honesty part comes through, and you realize what are the things that I need to fix, whether it is that relationship, that job, my diet, my habits, whatever it is that has been draining you in the wrong direction, comes a process of erasing. Erasing doesn't happen overnight. Some things you've done for so many years and for such a long time, it's a progression, it's a step by step. All you need is the acknowledgement and the first step. That's it. The rest it comes day by day, and you gain more strength to remove yourself. Some things, if I haven't done it that long, it's not that deep. You can get rid of it. Things that aren't, I don't want to make it seem like you just wake up in the morning and all of a sudden I'm done. There's so many things that have to go into erasing things. There's thought patterns that you need to change. There's a lot of stuff that you need to fix internally sometimes before you can erase the things that are now external. So the first step is the breathe, and then you're going to erase. And the next part is to rewrite. So we've discovered, okay, this thing has been draining me and I need to start to fix this. I need to get rid of this. I need to change this. Now we need to rewrite. Now we need to fix. The rewriting of it is almost like I discovered that this habit that I had was draining me of physical health. It was draining me of whatever the situation might be. I have to now to rewrite it. So I have to now give myself a replacement. Either if it was something that I was doing and it was causing me harm, I now need to rewrite that with something that's better for me, something that's good for me. If it was a kind of relationship that I was in that was not doing me any good, I now need to start to identify, first of all, what is the opposite, what is the good that I'm supposed to be in, and start to rewrite that this is where I'm at, this is where I'm meant to be, this is what I want to be doing with my life, this is where I should be. I might not be there yet, but this is where I'm going. That's the rewriting process. And then after the rewriting is the confirmation. And confirmation here basically is just you've now got this new thing. You've now got this new habit, new thought, new process that you want to do. You have to do it over and over again. Repetition breeds. That's actually just gone out of my head. Competence, I think. Something like that. But basically, you have to start to reinforce this thing and confirming it within yourself by doing this thing over and over and over again until you settle in within it and now you're comfortable within it. And this is going to help you get out of, this is basically just the capsule about rewriting your story when you are soul weary and soul tired. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode this week. I really would like to engage with you guys. Please comment and tell me your thoughts. Tell me if there's anything that you want me to go deeper into, or just some insights of what you have discovered if you ever found yourself in a place of being soul weary and you were able to do something about it. I always want to hear back about what happens in your lives and what happens with other people. Share this with anybody that you want to hear this, or you want to have a discussion about it. As always, leave me a comment. Please do subscribe to the channels. We have the YouTube channel, the Butterfly Soldiers. There is the Instagram page called the Butterfly Soldiers, and the Facebook page, the Butterfly Soldiers. You can find us on all of that. Please do like and comment and share and subscribe to the ones that need a subscription. And we're also on Spotify and Apple Music. Go ahead also over there and subscribe and share and like and comment and show some love. So as always, when we sign up from Butterfly Soldiers, if I can do it, so can you. Much love, everybody, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.